The University of Michigan head coach was fired for having an affair with his staff member, and people had so much to say. So I'm going to show you a few reaction of what people have to say about this whole issue.
You got fired, you lost 13 million. You done got to an argument with your wife, then threatened to take yourself out to glory. She kicked you out, and then you break into your boo thing's house and hold her hostage, and then you get arrested? You've had a long day. That has to be the worst day of life. Sharon Moore, the ex-head coach of University of Michigan, had a very tumultuous 24 hours. He got fired from his coaching job, and because he was fired with cause, he lost out on $13 million. Don't do it. His wife of over 10 years finds out, and they have 3 kids together, a set of twins. And clearly he has a type because the boo thing looked just like the doggone wife. So clearly he has a type. He got the boo thing pregnant and DoorDashed a Plan B to the school. Guess who the DoorDasher was? Somebody who recognized him and snitched. He got fired because the DoorDasher recognized him after he ordered a Plan B to the school. Not too smart. Not too smart. Then after the wife kicked him out, he went to doggone the boo thing's house. And they do believe that the boo thing is Paige Shriver. Now, Paige got an increase in her good old salary, 55% in 1 year. All right, girl, you must have been getting it, huh? And her dad is a scout for the Chicago Bears. They say she done took all her stuff and went ghost. She done took everything off the web. She went incognito. But after he left, the wife done went and told them where he was because she did something on her phone to find my people or something like that. And he was at a doggone church. Now he been arrested. Now he was supposed to be facing charges today, but it does seem like that they took him very serious about that threat to take himself out to glory. So it sounds like he's on want to go to glory watch. Sounds like that's where he's at. You've had the worst day ever. This is absolutely gonna be the worst day of your life. You got fired, lost millions, lost your wife, lost your boo thing, and your freedom. Good God. Don't do like him. Let's make better decisions. And shout out to the DoorDasher for snitching. That's really who should have got that raise.
Becoming the head coach for Michigan football is like maybe becoming the CEO of a top 10 Fortune 500 company, and he just fumbled that because of a lack of discipline and refusal to adhere to organizational policies. And this seems to be a recurring theme this year where people forget that their organizations have rules and policies, or they may be aware of the rules and policies but choose to believe that they are above those policies. And we've seen so many people lose out on a lot of money this year. Like that CEO that was at the Coldplay concert, now this Michigan person, the countless people who post on TikTok about how their job found out that they had recorded something or they were doing something else while on the clock and had lost their jobs. He didn't lose his job because he was having an affair. He lost his job because he was having an affair with somebody who also worked at the same organization, and that violated his organizational policies. And the more I read on this case, the more I think this man is like dumb and wanted to get caught, because apparently he ordered a Plan B through DoorDash, and it was a DoorDash driver that kind of like ratted him out, and he had gotten the Plan B because the staffer he was sleeping with had gotten pregnant, and he showed up to her house with a gun threatening to kill himself and her. Question mark. Allegedly. Again, this is all like information that's circulating. We don't really know. It has not been confirmed why he was arrested. But yeah, remember, follow your organizational policies.
Imagine waking up today, being Sharon Moore, and thinking, damn, not only did I lose my job, here I am sitting in a jumpsuit. That's the real life story of Sharon. Sharon had a prestigious position over in Michigan. All of that came crumbling down on yesterday because of his poor penis management. That is exactly what it is. He did not know how to manage himself. There's a young staffer at work. Obviously, he took her under his wing, I can imagine. They started having a relationship, a very inappropriate relationship. During the course of said relationship, girl got a boost in salary. She went from $58,000 to $90,000. $42,000 pay increase. I don't think her responsibilities changed other than doing a little back work. I digress. It seems like there has been a lot of sloppiness around all of this too, that it was DoorDash driver delivering a Plan B. That was speculated. People are speculating that this lady is pregnant. Paige is, I'm sure, younger. I don't feel bad for Paige because just like he was wrong, Paige knew that he was married. Fast forward to yesterday, he is formally fired. I guess he went home and had to have that conversation. Can you imagine sitting down with your spouse and telling them that I'm fired because I have no sense, I couldn't keep myself together, our income is done? Millions of dollars lost all at once because you have poor penis management. Seems like they got into it. He made some threats about harming himself, then jumped in a car and went over to the side piece's house and was brandishing a weapon and said he was going to take her out too. Why you going to take her out? You was busting her down and it wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem until you started losing things. This is a cautionary tale of men getting in their own way of their success. You were in a prestigious role. Here you are. You wake up in a jail cell like a common person because you could not let that go. You had to have whatever was in your face. I'm sure that there were several women that were throwing themselves at him. He just could not avoid the temptation. You got to do better. Sharon, I don't feel bad for you. I feel bad for your children and your wife. That girl, she's going to get what she's supposed to get, the backlash, because you decided to willingly be a side piece. It is just ridiculous. I will say that I am not a big football fan. Just having a conversation with my husband, he told me that Sharon made some questionable comments previously, saying that he doesn't see color. We see what his wife looks like. We see what the mistress looks like. That comment tracks. It's a bad day.
The Michigan football scandal is so messy. Not only did this man double his mistress's salary, but he got her pregnant, forced her to get rid of the child, showed up to her house, and threatened both her life and his. This is crazier than that Coldplay scandal. What do you mean you had a Plan B DoorDashed to your office? It doesn't seem that he tried to hide anything at all. To be fired and arrested all in one day, I'm not sure Coach Moore is going to make it back from this one.
Guys, y'all got to have dingling discipline. You got to have dingling discipline. Because what happened with Sherrod Moore should not have happened. I'm not sure where the boat went off the rails while he was at Michigan. But if your job is to coach football at a Big Ten institution, not just any Big Ten institution, the University of Michigan, probably one of the most valuable NCAA teams that we have right now. You are supposed to be about the craft of, I don't even want to say developing young men or anything like that. No, you are there to win football games with the people that you can get to come to your school. That is your job. Your job is already super hard. Why are you making your job even harder? And I'm especially mad because he's a black coach. And Mel Tucker basically did some shit while he was at Michigan State University. So why can't the business of coaching football just be done? That's it. Knucklehead shit should not be happening at the coaching level. And also, too, I'm sympathetic because no, I'm not. Because the mental health stuff there is probably a direct result of the lack of discipline that he showed. When you are in a position of power as a black male, you must maintain discipline. Discipline, discipline, discipline. I don't care if people look at you as a dick. I don't care if people, as long as you get the job done, as long as you treat people fairly, treat people nice, you ain't got to be all buddy-buddy with them, but maintain some type of discipline. If you can't maintain discipline, whatever you have is going to come tumbling down real fast. This man was getting paid $6.1 million to coach again at a Big Ten institution. It don't get no better than that. It don't get no better than that. And as much as I dislike Nick Saban, he needs to be studied because there was none of that among the coaching staff that at least we in the public are aware of at Alabama when he was coach, because he was not doing that. And you see what happened. Like NIL aside and all that, he ran a tight ship. Coaches that are in that position of power need to do that because that is ridiculous. And please don't come on here talking about, oh, well, if you had that time. No. You're giving an out to shit behavior. Don't even come in here with it.
I see Michigan got that boy Sharon up out of there. But see, that's rule number one. That's why you don't ever where you eat. Never. Not to mention, this ain't an Amazon warehouse, dog. Like, You the head coach of the University of Michigan. Like, you should know better. You know, as the head coach of a university, matter of fact, the head coach of a prominent university such as Michigan, that you gonna be in the public eye. And everything you do is gonna be under a microscope. Ain't too many secrets being kept in a football program. Like, there's eyes and ears everywhere in the building. Like, so if you messing with somebody in the building, somebody gonna find out. Like, don't matter how careful you be, don't matter how sneaky you being, somebody's gonna find out, because it's just that many eyes and ears around those buildings and around those programs. And now they say my man crashing out just got arrested over in Salina or something in Michigan, but say he went over to an assistant's house and broke in and was threatening his life, man. Listen, I just hope my man takes care of himself, does what he needs to do, but there's a life lesson for everybody. Like, learn from my man's mistakes. Don't where you eat, because where you go to make your money isn't the same place you should be doing your dirt.
Everybody's going to talk about Coach Moore and the salacious details. Oh, he was married. You know, she was his secretary. I want to talk about the ripple effect and why it's so important to really understand who you are placing your trust in, whose hands you place your future in. So let's just talk about, first of all, the coaching staff, all of his assistants. Now, certainly they may elevate one guy to coach the bowl game, but then what if the athletic director and the university decides, you know what, we want to go outside the building to try to bring in a new coach, right? We got to have a clean start. We can't elevate somebody from within the program. We got to go outside the program to bring somebody in. There's a good chance now a new coach comes in. That new coach is going to want to have their own staff. So now all these staff members, they're at risk. They're at risk of losing their jobs because of somebody else's decisions. Nothing that they did wrong. What about the players? What about the current players on the team who are fully committed to the team, who have every expectation to come back and try to contribute? Now, a new coach comes in. They have their own players. Remember, Coach Prime once said, I got my luggage in his Louis, meaning he's bringing his own players, bringing his own staff, his own players. So what if you got kids who want to stay at Michigan, but the new coach comes in and says, nah, I hear you, but I got some of my own dogs I want to bring in. You better go ahead and hit that portal. And then lastly, what about the current high school players? Ready to go, coach. I want to come play for you. I want to come play for Michigan. They trusted their future in him, and he fumbled it. Not just for himself, not just for his family, but his actions as a leader of an organization, because he is absolutely the leader of Michigan football, fumbled the bag. And now there's going to be fallout for a lot of other people.
Yeah, man, that pussy will do it to you. That lost everything in a blink of an eye. $13 million, gone. Wife, gone. Alimony, gone. Child support, gone. And he got arrested. So 9 times out of 10, he probably gonna lay down for a little while. Gone. And then it just kept making it worse. Motherfucker done broke into her house and tried to unalive himself and her. What? Come on, bruh. Come on, dog. Like, what are we doing, bro? You'll be lucky if you touch high school football. You feel me? And I do feel bad for some of the kids, because, like, I just heard that the school is just now telling the kids what happened. So imagine you a recruit. You just came in thinking the coach gonna be there, and you hear this horrendous ass story how he got a staffer pregnant, then tried to unalive her, and then tried to unalive himself. Big dog, that's a crazy start to your football.
I don't know much about football, but I do know that when you are a leader, like, people have to trust you. Like, you can cheat on your spouse and still expect people to, like, believe in you or trust you. Even if you want to cheat, why cheat with, like, a coworker? Why cheat with someone you work with? And this is something that happened before in the same organization that someone got fired for, and the previous coach got fired for the same misconduct, and you took his place, and then you did the same offense that he did. That is so crazy to me. How do you have an affair with your coworker, and this is like a zero tolerance policy that you guys have. You know that someone got fired or resigned for it, and then you did the same offense. You have no self-discipline, like paying you all this money. You embarrassed your wife, you embarrassed yourself, you embarrassed your kids, and it's right before Christmas, like right before Christmas. You lost your income. Like now, I don't know how you're going to get such a high paying job back. This job was paying you so well. Like, I don't know how you'll be able to recruit all this money. Like, how? Like, where? I don't, even if you do go to like a different university, I don't know if they're going to pay you as much. Or even if you take a step down to high school football, I'm not sure. I don't think high school football they pay them that much. I don't think NFL will hire you for this. I don't think the NFL will hire you now. This is such a disgrace. It's really, really a disgrace. Even if you want to be dishonest with your wife, why do it with a coworker? Why do it with someone you work with? I don't like cheaters, so I think he deserved what he got. And thank you for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. But before you go, tell me what you think about this coach and what people have to say.